Welcome back once again, all of my low carb friends, and for those of you who are here for the first time, welcome. Today I have another super quick, easy keto recipe for you. Today I am going to show you how to make keto mini cinnamon rolls. These are fabulous because they are quick, ready in 6 minutes. They are high in protein and they're just the right size. And if you want a printable version of this, you can check out my website at janet'sdeliciouslowcarbkitchen.com. You can find a printable version of this recipe and other goodies there for you. And if you're new to the channel and you want to see lots of easy, delicious low-carb keto recipes, make sure you click that subscribe button and click the notification bell that's right next to the subscribe button. That way you can be notified every time I put out videos, at least every Wednesday and Saturday. And if you'd like to help support the channel, make sure you scroll down in the description of the video. You'll see some affiliate links. Anytime you purchase anything using those affiliate links, a small portion of your purchase will go to me and help support the channel. So while you do all that, let's get cooking. Preheat an air fryer to 350 degrees for about 5 minutes. If you don't have an air fryer, just preheat your oven to 350 degrees. In a large mixing bowl, sift together 74 grams or around 2/3 cup of coconut flour, 10 grams or around 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 38 grams or around 3 tablespoons of the brown sugar sweetener of your choice. I'm using brown monk fruit sweetener. You can use whatever brown sugar sweetener you want to. This is actually optional. If you don't want to add any sweetener to your cinnamon rolls, you don't have to. This is just if you like the bread part of your cinnamon roll to have more of a sweet taste. Sift the dry ingredients all together until everything is fully combined and there are no lumps in your dry ingredients. Add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Again, this is optional. It just depends on if you like that vanilla hint in the bread part of your cinnamon rolls. Gradually stir in 245 grams or around 1 cup of Greek yogurt or any type of a thick yogurt. You don't want a thin, watery yogurt. You can use vanilla yogurt or you can use plain yogurt. If you do choose to use vanilla Greek yogurt, just check and make sure that it is 100% keto friendly. I use the Too Good brand of Greek yogurt. Stir the yogurt in just until a crumbly dough forms. Use a wooden spoon and push the dough crumbles together until the dough forms a ball. Then massage the dough ball in your hands for about 30 seconds or so, or until a nice smooth dough forms. Then place the dough back into your mixing bowl. Stir in 1 large egg until the mixture is fully combined and a smooth, moist dough has formed. You need a little bit of an extra binder since you are going to be shaping the cinnamon rolls. So if you don't want to use an egg, you can use xanthan gum or an egg substitute of any kind. Just something to help your dough be flexible so that it doesn't crack and fall apart when you go to shape your cinnamon rolls. Once your dough is nice and smooth, scrape down the sides of the bowl once again. Push the dough to the center of your bowl and form it into a ball. Massage and stretch the dough around in your hands for about 1 minute. This is just going to help make sure that all of your ingredients are staying together, and it's going to help the dough be a little bit more flexible. The dough is going to be moist, but it should not be sticky. It should not be sticking to your fingers at all. If it is, then you'll just need to add very small amounts of coconut flour until it is not sticky. After you've massaged the dough for about a minute, then you need to test the dough by just taking a portion of the dough in your hands and forming it into a ball. Then just kind of stretching it and fold it around a little bit. Just kind of play with it in your hands. You want to make sure that the dough is going to be flexible enough to be able to shape it. Line a clean work surface with parchment paper, then sprinkle just a tiny bit of coconut flour or oat fiber over the parchment paper. This is just going to help your dough not stick to the paper. Do not overdo the coconut flour or oat fiber. I'm using oat fiber. Don't overdo it. You do not want to dry your dough out. Form your dough back into a ball and place the dough ball onto your work surface. Then press or roll the dough out to a rectangle that's about 8.5 by 9.5 inches in size, roughly around a 1/4 inch thick, somewhere around in there. Doesn't have to be perfect. You just want to make sure that it is an evenly spread rectangle. If you are going to be using a rolling pin, then you'll just need to lightly sprinkle the top of the dough with a little bit more coconut flour or oat fiber. Again, don't go overboard. We're not trying to dry the dough out. Then you'll need to cover it with another sheet of parchment paper before you start using your rolling pin on it. Otherwise, the dough will stick to your rolling pin. Melt 2 tablespoons of butter, then spread the melted butter evenly over your dough rectangle. In a small bowl, use a fork and stir together 25 grams or around 2 tablespoons of the brown sugar sweetener of your choice. Again, I am using brown monk fruit sweetener. Add 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, then stir together until there are no lumps in the mixture. Sprinkle the mixture evenly over your melted butter that's on your dough. You can adjust this filling more or less depending on how thick of a filling you want in your cinnamon roll. Once you've evenly distributed the filling, then just use the back of a spoon and very lightly tap the filling into the dough. This is just going to help the filling stay in place when you're shaping your cinnamon rolls. To shape the cinnamon rolls, start at the widest side of the dough that is closest to you, then grasp the parchment paper that's underneath the dough, and use the paper to guide the dough while you roll the dough over your filling and shape it into a long spiral log. Make sure you use that paper to help guide your dough. This is a very moist dough, so it's going to be very difficult to try to roll it without using that paper as a guide. As you are rolling, make sure to keep the dough very tight and smooth at all times. Once the dough is rolled up into a spiral log, cut the dough into slices that are around 1 inch thick or as thick as you think you're going to want your cinnamon rolls. Use your hands and slightly flatten the tops of the cinnamon rolls to help seal the layers together. Line your preheated air fryer basket or drawer with a silicone mat, or you can use parchment paper. If you do choose to use parchment paper, make sure it's not in your air fryer basket when you are preheating. The air from the air fryer will blow the loose parchment paper around in your basket or drawer, and it could catch on fire. So you never want to have loose parchment paper in your air fryer. Place the rolls into your lined preheated air fryer. Make sure your rolls are in a single layer and you keep some space between each one of the rolls. Close up your air fryer and air fry at 350 degrees for about 6 minutes or until the rolls are browned on top. If you are using an oven, then you're going to bake these at 350 degrees for around 10 to 15 minutes or until they are browned on the top. Once your cinnamon rolls are done cooking, open the air fryer and just let the rolls sit in your air fryer basket or drawer for about 5 minutes so they can firm up and so that they will not burn your fingers. After about 5 minutes, remove the cinnamon rolls from your air fryer and place them on a wire rack. Then allow them to cool for another 3 to 5 minutes or so, just so they can continue to firm up all the way. While they're cooling, place a piece of parchment paper underneath the rack with your rolls on it. In a small bowl, use a fork and stir together 47 grams or around 1/3 cup of the powdered sweetener of your choice. I'm using powdered monk fruit allulose blend that I make. You can use whatever powdered sweetener you want. You can also use more or less of it depending on how thick of a glaze you're going to want to put on your cinnamon rolls. Add 1 tablespoon of the milk of your choice. My favorite keto milk is always coconut milk, but you can use whatever milk of your choice. You can also use more or less depending on how thick you're going to want your glaze. Stir the milk and powdered sweetener together until everything is fully combined and smooth and your desired thickness. Use a spoon and pour your desired amount of glaze over each one of the rolls. Once your cinnamon rolls are glazed, let them sit for just a couple minutes so the glaze or the frosting can soak in a little bit. You can serve these warm or you can eat them at room temperature. Alrighty, so here we are with my little mini Sydney. Look at that, isn't that cute? It smells so good. I love adding cinnamon to just about anything. I just put a very light layer of glaze on this one so it's almost soaked all the way into it. Still has a little bit that you can actually see on it. You can put however much or however thick of a glaze that you want on yours. But let's see what this bad boy tastes like. Oh my goodness, yes. That is really, really very, very, very good. I actually like this version better than my other full-size cinnamon roll recipe. This is really, really good. I love my air fryer. I mean, it just really is a lifesaver right now with my oven still being kaput. But this is definitely worth the make, and it is perfect for satisfying any cinnamon roll craving you might be having. Thumbs up, definitely. Come to me. You can eat these immediately. If you do have any leftovers, allow them to cool to room temperature and store them in an airtight container for up to 3 days, or you can store them in an airtight container in your refrigerator for up to 5 days, or you can store them in a freezer-safe airtight container for up to 2 months. Eat and enjoy. And that's our recipe of the day. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did and you want to see more videos like this, make sure you click that thumbs up like button, click that subscribe button, leave me a comment if you want to. Let me know if there's any recipes that you'd like to learn how to make, and I'll do what I can to get those out there for you. And as always, keep cooking.